So first thing I would like to talk to you guys about is the name of the cafe.
Punky's Whips.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Punky's Whips is a song that rips on sort of the commercialization of people in the 80s. And so there was a band that...
No, hold on, back up. What do you mean the commercialization of people in their 80s?
No, in the 80s.
Aha, okay.
That would be something else for sure. That's happening now.
Fair enough.
No, so yeah, we were just getting loose with Zappa a lot, and that song was sticking out to us, and we were just looking for fantastic Zappa names because everything that he does is just the right type of loose for us.
Yeah.
And
I mean, actually, we just sat down for a beer and we just went through like the whole discography of Zappa and just looked for names that were funny. And it came down to 3 or 4 things, and the one that made us laugh the most was the one that won, and that was Punky's Whips.
Yeah.
So it could have been Baby Snakes as well, but
top contender was Baby Snakes.
Baby
for sure.
Snakes is pretty good, but you know, we're also the Duke of Prunes was pretty
the Duke
good.
of Prunes, yeah, that would have worked
we
out
might
well.
might be keeping those names for future places.
Duke of Prunes is the best.
Duke of Prunes is
we didn't mind the changeover as well.
Well, what does Punky's Whips even mean? Like in the context of Frank Zappa's song?
That was the point of the what was going on with this thing. His drummer apparently was sort of like hooked into some band. I can't remember. It's called something Angel, or I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know the name of the band.
It's some sort of like heavily commercialized 80s band where there was like just like hectic glam sort of shots going on. And as he says in the song, like he was struck by the impotent puffed out rictus of this guitarist. I can't remember his name anyway. Someone.
Well, his name is Punky.
Oh yeah, Punky. Yeah, sure.
His name is Punky.
Yeah,
like the guitarist of this other band is called Punky.
And it's a real band. It's not like
it's a real band. It's a real dude. It's a real dude.
And so the guy had like a poster of this guy was pouting it out or something like that.
Yeah.
And I guess whips is just like the affectionate term coming from lips. So it's actually about Punky's lips.
Whips his lips.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
We love seeing people walking past here and doing that double take where they look up at the sign and look down again, keep walking, and then have to turn back and read it again. You can just see them kind of mouthing Punky's lips.
Yeah.
And just not getting it at all, and I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
And we just had no idea what this would be in the first place. We thought maybe it'll turn into the best cafe, maybe we'll end up making drinks and it'll be a good bar, maybe we'll hit it off with the bread. And so we also wanted it to feel amorphous, so that you didn't have a clue what you were coming into.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
That you just heard the name, heard the place, and then you just went there and then you got the experience.
That's a nice idea. I like that because it's not cliched in the least. I mean, you know.
That was the other thing as well. Avoiding cliche is fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's a different time today.
And thank fuck you didn't do like a word play or something like that.
Something you mean something like Red Zeppelin?
Okay, I'm gonna cut that bit out.
No, that's what it's there for. The Bread Zeppelin has a fuckload of cheese on it, but it's cheese for a reason.
It is actually.
It's a good rockfall.
Sometimes you just got to accept the hardest way to go around cliche is to go straight through.
Here we go. So what we have is our front of house where we've got Maxie looking gorgeous, sorting out everything that needs to be proved. We've got our bread, always on display, not today. It's our free day today. We've got our beautiful coffee machine that our boss who works with Coffee Pirates, he's brought it over for us, and it's a machine from the Netherlands. Very spacey. Back to the future.
It is really gorgeous. So where are all you guys from then? Holly?
I'm a Kiwi, so I'm from New Zealand. I guess that's how we kind of connected, because you're an Aussie.
Yeah.
So
that's right, because I always think that you're from New Zealand.
Yeah, slim pickings for the English vibe.
Yeah. You're Australian, you're South African, right?
Well, my parents are South African, but I was born in Vienna and I've lived here all my life, so I've got the South African heritage.
But you don't make friends with Viennese salad, man.
Yeah. But you maintained, you picked up a little bit of a South African accent there as well from your...
Yeah, it's coming through now, you know, I go through phases, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. If I'm in South Africa, then it gets really intense again, but it changes a lot, because my parents didn't really have a strong South African accent.
Is this because you speak Afrikaans? So
the accent.
So what's going to affect you?
Not really. Not really, because I
Not
learned both.
really.
Yeah, now it's there. Obviously now I'm thinking about it, so now it's coming through. But probably if there's South Africans watching, they're going to say that it's not a real South African accent.
BS. South Africa.
Now come into the bakery. Got Oscar today. Looking gorgeous. And this is where the boys do everything. Every day, and at 6 in the morning, maybe even earlier. Pounding out bread, putting it into this guy here. Making sure everyone gets the goods for the day. Fresh baked. Just pure chaos.
How did this place manifest? Do you know what I mean? Like what was the original spark? You know what I mean?
Well, the spark is probably the fact that this guy liked to make bread at home a long time ago.
Like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was like my first job after like school and like military service was in a bakery. I was just working in the front, you know, selling bread for Felzel here in Vienna, and that's kind of where the interest in bread started. And then I just saw a YouTube video about this baker in San Francisco and his bakery called Tartine, and thought the bread looked like nothing I'd ever seen before in Austria. So I just, same night I ordered his book, and that's when I started baking at home. And I was pretty shit at it, you know. My first breads looked absolutely terrible. They were completely flat, but I was still super proud of it.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, yes.
That's
I
the
mean, it's
benefit of
so
starting
amazing when you do something that's so basic, like bread. You do that for the first time yourself, and you realize actually, it doesn't just come from a shop. You can actually just make it as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, and just having that smell of the fresh bread from the oven.
Oh yeah.
It's nothing else.
It's something else. It's definitely something else.
I mean that is so poetic that the first time you walk past the bakery in the day, especially early in the morning, and that smell wafts out.
Yeah.
That is poetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember especially when I was a kid, like we used to go to Greece on holiday, and we used to go and get our bread fresh from the bakery in the morning there, and I always thought that is just the absolute best smell in the world. There's nothing that smells better.
And these are the makers, man.
Bakers. Oski's on breads today. Does a real good job.
Oski is breads.
Oski is breads. Yeah. He even got a haircut for the video.
I
Looking
did.
real great. Real good.
He used to be long, man.
Yeah.
Now he's business class.
Yeah.
How much experimentation and variation goes into like baking bread?
By now, an
For us,
incredible
a
amount.
lot.
Incredible.
A lot. We pretty much spent like 2-3 months.
Yeah, just straight up
every
every
day.
day, just baking with slight variation 10 times over or something like that, and just to see what happens with that possible difference in temperature, that possible difference of bacteria at the start.
So, Holly, show us the bread.
Let's do it.
And that was just baked by Oscar. He's trying to hide now, but yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks lovely.
So all the breads that Oscar's done up today, we've got the polenta rosemary, we've got some of the midnight rye, we've got classic, and I think that's it for today. Oh, and the seed loaves as well, which is, I guess, the latest bread to come into play. The latest bake.
Seed loaves?
Yeah.
Aha, nice.
Yeah, so it's a good wee mix of a few seeds in there, but my favourite always is the midnight rye.
And what's so special about this one for you?
The spices that are in it are just next level. The colour's beautiful. It's a bread that you just use for anything. It's just, for me, it's a perfect bread. Perfect bread.
What factors give the biggest variation of breads? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the biggest thing that will make this loaf of bread taste totally different to this loaf of bread?
I mean, obviously the flour, just the ingredient that you use as a...
But what do you mean, like?
Just the type of flour that you use, where the flour is from, different
Mineral
flours taste
content,
different.
protein content,
Yeah.
things like this. Like, I mean, this is a big thing to sort of demonize gluten now, but I mean, realistically, we've been eating it for thousands of years and things like that. And there's some commercial varieties of flour where they've really worked with it and changed its genetic profile to be able to produce more of this protein and things like that maybe you're not looking for. But overall, it's something that human systems have been working with forever. And especially when you process it naturally like this, the bacteria are doing the work for you. It's only been this sort of last couple of generations where all of a sudden it was too damn hard to care about this stuff.
Yeah.
So people dropped that off, and then they went with the nice packet yeast that you put in that doesn't process anything. It just introduces the most baseline amount of carbon dioxide, which is why you get this white fluffy bread now that really doesn't bear any resemblance to a more traditional bread like what we're
You
doing.
mean like British sandwich bread?
Yeah, essentially,
Something like that, yeah.
There's beautiful fruit notes and things like that.
Yeah.
But you can also control the flavor to an extent with the fermentation, depending on what temperature you're letting the bread rise. It'll produce different bacteria. So
Yeah.
if you at a hotter temperature, you'll have more of these milky kind of notes, and at a colder temperature, you'll have more like acidic notes.
Well, as a Brit, I mean, you can make the parallel with beer.
Yeah.
Like lager yeast is actually from the New World, and that was brought back, and that's likes to ferment at about 5 degrees.
Yeah.
And that sits down at the bottom of the tank in the coldest part, fermenting away there. But your ales and things like that, they all love high temperature, and they breed all along the surface of the beer when it's brewing.
Yeah.
And they're looking for more oxygen, more. They basically like live at a faster pace than the other one.
Yeah.
So their flavors are more kind of like, let's say, raw byproduct. Like they're just getting ingredients and just ripping them apart. And just making all these random sort of products. That's why you get all these crazy notes and sometimes negative notes if you don't control it well. But whereas the lager remains sort of crisp and clean. So it depends what you want to go for. But with our type of fermentation, we're really looking to produce as much of this fruity individualness that we can get.
Next thing is Max getting his hair out long, and then we're all going to look like a fucking Brady Bunch.
It's not gonna happen.
Oh, and absolutely, you have to get our custom-made Rolling Stones album cover.
For me, half of the ambience of a good cafe is the music that's playing when I go in. So you've got the, like Punky's has this kind of really nice interior, which I'm going to show kind of a little bit later on. But yeah, when I walk in here, I'm hearing I'm hearing Lou Reed, I'm hearing Led Zeppelin, I'm hearing Pink Floyd, I'm hearing the Kinks. I mean, just to scratch the surface. And this, I feel, when somebody is passionate about music and it's not just a playlist. And I feel that because it feels curated. I like cafes that curate the playlist, and the person that's curating the playlist puts a little bit of pride in it. They put it on because they want to hear it. It makes them work better. It gives them more enthusiasm for the job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, how does music play into this whole place?
That's the easy part for us. We don't even have to think twice.
Yeah.
It's what we want in the morning. There's
Yeah.
no time where one of us isn't humming away at something before we start up.
Yeah.
And then that just sends us off in our direction for that day.
Holly, like you, what's your desert island discs? We got it in desert island discs. It's
Great
like,
podcast.
give me 2 or 3.
Oh, I could do a list. Kinks, Steely Dan, the Abraxas album by Santana. That was my first vinyl I brought, actually. Doors, Pink Floyd. I could go on.
Yeah, nice, excellent. Yeah. Okay, give me 3 desert island songs now, actually, as well.
3 Desert Island songs.
You haven't got them ready, dude? You don't
No.
keep them in the holster?
I'll do it again for sure.
Pun with the name?
Bring it through, and then from the Doors, Riders on the Storm. I love that one for some reason, and then
Because it's fucking
at the
amazing.
moment,
So dope.
for some reason, and then at the moment that's been stuck in my head is Mon Cherie by Stevie
yeah,
Wonder.
fucking class.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was humming this the other day before we came in.
Yeah.
As we came in, sorry. And he said, if it's not the first song of the day,
Thought
I'm
she's in
fucking it
trouble,
up.
dude.
Nah, cool. Nah, I'm with you on the Kinks though as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think, honestly speaking, I think the Kinks are probably they're underrated and well recognized at the same time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
They're
I feel
underrated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like everyone who knows the Kinks thinks they're dope. So in that sense, they're not
Yeah.
underrated. They might be
No, but-
underknown.
No, but they're kind of like,
that
they're like
might be the thing.
that upper middle class of music in a way. Like they're not like just they're not owning yachts, but but they have achieved something, and it's like they're always on the flip side of known in a
Yeah.
way. It's like they're known, but there's like, I feel like if anyone really knew them as well as, I don't know, say like you, me, whatever, any fan, then they step right above everyone else.
Yeah.
They've just got some, like, I mean, Dead End Street is just such a beast, and Ape Man,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
just
Oh,
they
yeah.
raw as fuck. I mean, and even just a mistake, that one note mistake, you know, that gave us "You Really Got Me Now."
Yeah.
Just that wow, no. It was he just fucked up on a piano.
Yeah.
Done, and then he was like, that was gold, and he stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and put him in the stratosphere.
Village Green Preservation Society.
Yeah.
This for me is like the quintessential English.
So
album.
British, it's
The
crazy.
English-speaking vernacular, man.
Like it gets like Walter. He couldn't be any more.
Yeah.
Like it's so much
God
more
bless the
English than
George
Beatles.
Cross and all those who were one of
If
them.
Michael Caine was an album,
Yeah.
he'd be that album.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think that's one of my all-time favorite
Yeah.
albums. Jake, give me your Desert Island albums.
Albums. Well, we started on Lou Reed, and it's got to be a Transformer. The
Oh,
thing is
yeah.
a masterpiece from end to end.
Oh yeah.
Outside of that, then you got to go with like as we were talking about Pink Floyd, which maybe sounds like a bit straight to go with, but in this crew anyway. But the album Animals just comes through with this song like Pigs 3 in a row, Sheep. It's gold.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the Pink Floyd that someone immediately calls to. It's also not some sort of like secret Sid Barrett song or anything like that. But it's just absolute class. The
Oh,
thing end to end.
absolutely.
Yeah.
When you hear that like acoustic guitar on the If I Didn't Care, like as soon as you hear that, I'm just thinking about that now.
Yeah.
And I'm getting goosebumps from the first time I heard it back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
That is just a powerful number, and just the vitriol of just how he spits everything out is just it's so raw, and that straight cowbell through the chorus, it's just fantastic. Just keeping it straight while the guitar just gets as loose as it can. So yeah, I know that one. But as you're saying, like this is all the sort of things like you ask me in a year, and I'll tell you the other ones. But the real obvious standout and the namesake is the Apostrophe album by Frank Zappa. There isn't a single syllable that's uttered in that thing that isn't absolutely fucking perfect. There's not a single musical thing that was wrong. It's the most intense, fucking brilliant experience. Best hour of your life. So if I can only give you 3, that's my 3, I guess.
No, nice.
But otherwise, I'll keep it going for 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what
Yeah.
you mean. Yeah, no. Okay, I'm gonna.
And
make
the
this-
Beatles, just before we go anywhere.
Just
Which one?
Just every fucking Beatles.
Nah, go on. You gotta pick. You gotta pick one.
All right, a song or album?
Album.
Album, and I'm probably going to go with. It's fucking cliche, but I'm probably going to go with the bloody one where they're walking across the bloody road. What is it?
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
but
one,
then
though.
but,
It
yeah,
is the one.
It is the one. Yeah, it's
is
just
the
like
one.
it's the one that gets you. Or the White Album. I mean, like
Yeah.
the song that first like just went into me was
Fashionable would be to say the White Album.
yeah. Oh, there you go. Well, guilty. No,
Yeah.
but when I first heard Dear Prudence, I think that's what pulled me into the Beatles.
sure.
It just blew my mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sitting on a bus, just going to school, and I just sort of like we didn't have like cloud things, so I must have downloaded it at the time or somewhere, and then just really just put a pair of headphones on and just got sucked into that world, and I was completely a fan forever. Yeah, and song wise, I think you never give me your money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
thing
gorgeous.
just rips.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why that one doesn't get more.
That little hook of your funny papers. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is about that little melody line, but
and the
Yeah, the bass is nuts.
and the bass just walking against the guitars. The bass is just do 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 do, and the guitars just the other way.
yeah.
It's
Nah,
killer.
exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Like that reminds me of Hersham Boys by Sham 69.
It got me, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's because we were talking about like Oi earlier on.
Oh, you're
Sham
right,
69 is like Oi and that din 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 Sham 69. Yeah.
It'll give us a listen.
So, Max,
Do you want my albums?
I do.
Well, I mean, number 1 is definitely also Apostrophe, Frank Zappa.
Okay.
I think it's the best album
Yeah.
there is. Did you know if you're judging it as an album and not as a collection of just hits or songs that they have?
Yeah.
Apostrophe is the best album. It's the only thing where I can't just listen to one song. It has to be that album, and it has to be from the beginning to the end because it's a story.
For anyone who watches this, it's just, let's say, requisite move in life is to
Yeah.
go and get the Apostrophe album and learn it word for word.
Yeah.
But what is it? Like, give me like because like for example, like what mood is it creating for you, or like what mood do you have to be in to watch?
It's just pure ecstasy of just musical
it's obscenity.
Brilliant.
It's fucking
obscene.
obscenity. Yeah.
It's funny. It's musically brilliant. It's rhythmically crazy. It's
truly rhythmically crazy.
rhythmically completely crazy. It's way ahead of its time. There's like passages. When it come out? Like
69.
69?
It's unbelievable for
There's
its time.
passages in there where you think it's like late 90s.
Yeah.
Just
And
like
good late
two or
90s.
three bars of late 90s, and then it's into a fucking
Like
samba
good
or something.
experimental late 90s. Like
Yeah.
something that would be ahead of its time for late 90s stuff.
Yeah.
Or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's purely raw. It's absolutely raw music.
It's a
and
concept
brilliant.
album as well.
It's a concept album.
Yeah, it starts off about this like Eskimo who is sort of having a dialogue with his mum, and she doesn't want him to sort of become commercial and go down south and sort of leave the tradition.
Yeah.
But he goes to his first rock concert, and on the way he's stopped by a bloke who's a fur trapper.
Yeah.
And he pops up from behind his igloo and he starts whacking on his favorite baby seal. And then he's kind of just destroyed by this event, and he ends up fighting the guy, and it's brilliant. Like he hits him with a lead-filled snowshoe, and it's like the thing is that what he does with it is he tells you a story, and then it just dives off musically when you can't put that into words anymore. Like he says, like, you know, he jumped up from behind my igloo and he hit him on the nose and he hit him on the fin, and he it's just like he just runs with the obscenity of it and does it in music.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, after that fight, like he sticks like a snow cone of the deadly yellow snow where the huskies go and stuff like that right in the fur trapper's eyes. And the only way he can get his eyes fixed is to go down to the parish of Saint Alfonso for Saint Alfonso's pancake breakfast, where I stole the margarine. It's loose, and then then he's
crazy.
on out of that.
Kind of like a kid store, like Dr. Zeus or something.
Almost,
that kind of feel.
Almost, yeah.
But then it gets
But it's like-
it gets much more adult as a sort of like. But that's the thing; it progresses from like an innocence through to like then he's talking to some guy who's trying to sell him drugs, and he's just like he's not about it. He's like the tagline on the end of that song is like don't waste your time on me, but it's like you can make more money as a butcher. Like, it's just like don't even fuck with me, man. I'm not about your stuff. And then it works through to like some dude who just wears too much python boots and he's got stinkfoot. Stinkfoot.
I feel like that album is just it's a really good measure of someone's character if someone hasn't heard that album. So we've like had some of our best nights
Yeah, true. Yeah.
have been just going to someone's home, having a little party there, having some wine and some beers, and then you start listening to the Apostrophe album.
Yeah.
And it's so cool when you're listening to it with someone who's never heard it or has never heard Zappa.
Yeah.
And
Any
if
music
they
lovers
get into
yeah.
it, then they're rock solid. If they don't get into it, you can't trust them.
Yeah.
You really can't trust them.
Or you just at
And it's-
least musically can't trust them.
Yeah, musically can't trust them. But it's amazing to see people react to this album.
Everyone's
when they hear
into
for
it
the
as
first-
if
they're
they've
so into
as if
it.
they've listened to it for 10 years.
Yeah.
No, nice. No, it definitely inspires me to actually go down the Zappa rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Like sometimes, like with Zappa, that he's like just well off. Like we used to play an album actually over there all the time. We wanted to clear everyone out. It's called Jazz from Hell. And it was like steel drum jazz that was just
Terrible.
fucking nonsensical.
So
Like,
bad.
it was heinous to listen
Yeah.
to, and that was the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And I always give him credit where you like, there's this kind of Dada-esque way of doing music or something like that, and he just like gets it, and he's like, check this, hold my beer. I'm going to show you guys how you muck around with this stuff.
Yeah.
That you even got to give him credit to. I don't want to listen to it on the reg, but there's those. It's like Tom Waits or something like that. It's like the first two albums. I resisted Tom Waits forever, but then the first two albums, when he was singing, when he was young, when he was like really making music, and he just hadn't sort of started doing his xylophone routine with
This
his
is like kind of Grapefruit Moon era or what?
yeah. Would you mean like Grapefruit Moon and stuff like that?
You mean that time?
Yeah. The Closing Time album and Heart of Saturday Night and stuff like that.
That's
Like
gorgeous.
just
Beautiful.
perfect music. Yeah.
Was it Martha?
Yeah,
fucking hell.
yeah.
This is
And he was
insane.
27 when he wrote that
Yeah, it's
shit.
crazy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You listen to like a 7-year-old man who's just lived through it all and just understanding like the that like little moment that he just didn't appreciate and lost or somewhere, and really reflecting on it, and it's a 27-year-old kid
Yeah.
like writing this stuff.
I guess like it's weird listening back to like Freewheeling and knowing Dylan was like what 20, 21.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
because
That's true genius, eh?
Yeah, that's like how do
How
you
do you
even
do
have
that?
a voice
Yeah.
like that at that
Yeah.
age?
Yeah. How do you have a style like that?
Yeah.
How could you come up with every part of the concept?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So Max,
Just by doing
next
it.
two.
It's where it gets difficult now, because like I'm into so many different genres, so I kind of feel like I almost would have to pick albums from different genres. But I think
No, you don't have to.
like if it was actually like what I'm really listening to a lot right now, I'm gonna have to say there's this. I don't even know if it's actually an album or if it's just a collection, but it's by Fabrizio Di André. It's called Gli Originali.
What is that?
He's a Italian. They would call him a cantautore. So he's like I would say he's the Leonard Cohen of Italy. And it's amazing. It's amazing music. It's poetry that's set to music.
Oh, nice.
Basically,
Yeah,
and it's
what kind of
absolutely.
era is that?
He would be like 70s probably,
70s.
I would say. And it's beautiful music, and he's got a deep voice, and I just love it at the moment. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
you love it. Get that deep voice on with him.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And I think probably third one, just as an all-time favorite, I'm gonna have to put the third piano concerto from Rachmaninoff,
Okay.
because I can listen to that anytime and be amazed by it every time. It's amazing music.
Yeah.
Absolutely
That's
amazing
it.
music.
He's
It's
pretty
nuts.
He's a cat.
Yeah.
What kind of like mood does that create?
I mean, it's different.
that.
Goes to ranges.
It's got a huge range.
Yeah.
It's majestic at times. It's introspective at times. It's mysterious. It's jubilant.
Yeah.
It's really sad. It's really romantic. It's really human.
Yeah. Give me a bread music analogy. Compare the first bread that you made. Compare it to a song or a band, and the latest bread that you've been making. Compare it to a song or band.
It's actually, the analogy's already there. We all know what's coming out. She Loves You, yeah.
Yeah.
And fucking A Day in the Life.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of like simple
Oh,
ingredients.
it was good. It was good.
But hold on,
Got the-
you're really bigging up that first bread now, though, because do you know what I mean? It's like it's simple, but you know what I mean?
No, it was cute. You know, it was cute.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, if you were looking for bread, it was bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cute. It's good.
Yeah.
Nicely scored. Nice colour on it.
Yeah.
Everyone would say that was bread.
Yeah.
Good.
But now we're into the flavours. Now we've got those little notes happening.
Holly, croissants for the rest of your life or bread for the rest of your life?
Bread. Every damn day.
Why?
Goes with everything.
Vegemite on it. That's
You
right.
have a Vegemite on it, you can go honey.
Can't put Vegemite on a croissant.
Oh,
you probably
have
could,
you
though.
tried it?
Oh, you probably could. They'd
could.
probably kill you.
Actually, a nice little like croissant with Vegemite, like
cheese.
ham and cheese.
Yeah.
Have you ever done a back-to-back of Vegemite and Marmite, by the way? Because
No.
Marmite's better.
Oh,
it
yeah.
is.
Marmite's.
You know what's cool
So
about
much
this
better.
guy is he's dead wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I used
No,
to
it's
be
definitely
Marmite
Marmite.
though, and then I
Marmite.
changed all of a sudden once I came to Austria, and it was straight Vegemite. But it's
Yeah.
also like €9 a container.
I'm sure Marmite was the original,
Yeah.
and then it got evolved.
I have no idea what the difference is. Like, all I know is that I projectile vomited the first time I ate Marmite because it was part of a party game, like
Yeah.
where they blindfold and you have to guess what it is. I literally puked across the room, and then 20 years later, I love the stuff.
It's fun.
Ah,
Yeah.
so it was a good outcome.
Yeah, I
happens
hated
with
it my
intense
whole
flavours.
life, and,
Yeah.
and then just like white toast with a layer of butter.
The layer.
And a thin layer of
An equal
Marmite.
layer.
It's
Brick.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
You
No,
know
it's a
what I mean?
70-30
butter on
ratio always.
Yeah.
70%
Butter to
butter. Yeah,
Marmite.
30% Vegemite or
I would go closer to
Yeah.
a 90-10.
And 90.
Yes. So Holly, what's the most fun part about working here for you?
The boys, for sure. Always entertaining. They're all different as well in their own beautiful way. Oscar's definitely the bubbly sun child, always. Yeah, definitely. Jake's definitely the best hugger out of the whole building.
The best what?
Hugger?
Hugger?
Yeah.
Reality.
So you can't come into Punky
Oh,
without
yeah.
getting the air squeezed out of your lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Max, he's always singing or humming, and I find that beautiful as well.
So
Yeah.
it's just generally a nice atmosphere. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I've worked in some pretty cold atmospheres, and you just end up standing there being like
Yeah.
you're just doing a job, and why not do your job but also have fun, meet
Exactly.
people.
That's why we're like this, man.
Yeah.
You know? We're bloody mates.
Yeah.
We're all mates.
Yeah, I love it. I love the atmosphere when I come in. I get that feeling. It's
Yeah.
nice. It's welcoming, and yeah. I mean, you do an amazing job of making customers feel welcome. I mean, like I always got such a good vibe from you when
That's
I came.
the talent,
in, you
man.
know what I mean?
Gotta
Yeah.
do it. What's the
Yeah.
point otherwise?
Nah,
So tell him, man, it didn't miss us for a second, dude. When
Yeah.
we were talking about it, it was like, well, we should manage the place, and I was like, fucking holy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Nah,
course.
that was a
Like,
good
as
choice.
if it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Just the warmest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah.
Try
There
to
you
be.
go. That's a good title. Warmest motherfucker on the planet. I
Yeah,
like
it'll be
that.
on my tombstone once I go. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you go before me, I'll sort it out.
Me.